I don't know anything about this game. But fuck it.
We've been seeing remakes of a lot of classic games that modernize them well enough for current-gen platforms and audiences. This time around,
Hello,
Fatal
Stanley.
Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly
Have you played or Fatal Frame at all? Have you heard of it? Or no, not really.
I think I've seen someone play it before, but I've never played it.
Yeah, I mean I've seen it. I just was never really into it personally.
It's like a horror game, right?
Yeah, it's like a horror
Pairing
game.
a visual overhaul with gameplay tweaks
Yeah,
meant
hell
to
no,
make
bro.
this the definitive way to experience the
I
play
play Resident Evil. I love Resident Evil.
Does it soar
This
or
game,
does it
nah.
fall short?
I don't even
That's
play
what
Resident
we're
Evil,
gonna
bro.
find out.
I don't play any horror.
Let's begin with the
Pussy.
visuals.
No, I'm
There's a
kidding.
lot to like
I'm a
on
bitch
that
and I'm
front.
proud,
Real
yeah.
textures and assets that bring a layer of realism to both indoor and outdoor environments that the PS2 just simply couldn't manage. Mio and Mayu look excellent, although their facial animations could have used a little more polish.
I'm surprised this game even got a remake. I thought it was like pretty niche, you know? Uncultured.
Yeah, I thought so too, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm shocked it's still getting remakes and shit. But apparently people like taking photos of ghosties or whatever.
No one's here.
English voice
The way
acting.
lighting works in
Disgusting.
this game is among its highlights on the
Yeah.
visual front, with rays of it streaming through open windows and the foliage
It's
of
probably,
the forest weaving
probably more
so
popular in Japan,
realistically,
right?
it automatically
Oh, yeah,
makes
definitely.
everything feel
Imagine.
more real
Yeah.
as a result. And while
Probably
the
why they're getting
loose
remakes.
designs might prove divisive, I can safely say that they are still scary as hell. If I were to complain, the lack of graphical options is one area I wish the developers had worked on. There's also a sort of grainy filter operating throughout the adventure.
T, are you into Fatal Frame? I saw it and I was never into it.
Giving you this impression that it was all recorded on an older camera. It adds to the realism, yes, but it can get quite annoying after a while. An option to toggle it on or off would have been much appreciated.
Or
It is
okay.
what it is. Moving on from the visuals, the gameplay has also seen some changes. You're introduced to the new hand-holding mechanic quite early on, and I really liked the added layer it brings to Mio and Mayu's bond. Holding Mayu's hand restores both health and willpower, which is a nice touch.
Hi, Cream. Welcome
However,
in.
considering how the story often forces the two of you apart, I don't think I was able to get as much out of it as I'd have liked. I'd have liked Mayu to be more involved in the game's combat, but she continues to be problematic, her injured leg rendering her helpless and
I mean-
terrified in the face of any spirit that you happen upon.
Yeah, no, I could not do this game,
Way
dude.
to get a couple of free hits in, but other than that, she's largely a
Alright, all those
liability
jump
in
scares and stuff,
combat.
hell
Hello,
no.
Marg.
Speaking of
Also,
combat, the
guys,
camera obscurity
check this shit out.
continues to be among the coolest ways to deal with enemies in any game that I've played. The remake adds focus, zoom, and filter switching to make it feel more like an actual tool than a simple accessory. The
Oh, I
premise is
wonder what
simple.
this could
Point it at
be.
hostile spirits,
I wonder
wait
what
for it to
this could
focus
be.
properly, and then snap a photo
Interesting.
the moment that they attack for serious damage. In theory, that makes
But
things
yeah,
quite
we did get
easy.
verified.
Indeed, it was
So,
simple
very
in
pog.
the original version.
Oh shit,
Let's
you got
go.
verified.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
Enemy
dude.
attacks,
Hey,
and then
yeah.
click away
That's
to
huge.
give the spirits
Hey,
some
yeah,
more
yeah.
rest.
Good shit,
Oh,
man.
my
That
shit
isn't
broke.
The case in the remake, however.
My
as the
shit
spirits are
fucking
now
broke.
Far more aggressive
God.
and mobile in a fight.
Okay, there we go.
Features like shutter chance, fatal frame, and filter-based
Hold on.
special shots should have made encounters more dynamic, but the results are not consistent. They
Also,
teleport
hello, Wolf.
wildly, forcing
Welcome
you to
in.
constantly pivot to find them and move much faster, making
How are
lining
you?
up your shots a lot harder. I can see what the developers were going for, but
Notice.
it largely made
Okay,
content
listen,
shorter
Cream.
rather
I don't know why, but like they've the kick staff actually put me on the front page 4 separate times, and I don't know if it does anything. I really don't, because each time it just I only get like 1 to 2 follows and that's it. So I think they like switch it out often, which kind of a shame, but I get that, you know, it's normal.
I feel like most people on Kick don't actually like browse. They just go
No,
straight
they
to the person,
don't.
you know?
They don't.
Like
They
from
just go.
Twitch.
Yeah, no, they don't. It's not really like, you know. I mean, it's not really a big site. Like, you know, I'm noticing like all the big streamers on there, and that's it. Like, there's not really any like, you know, successful small to big streamers, I guess, if that makes sense. Hello, Smog. Welcome in, Smog. How are you?
Than a welcome change in the remake. And
Traffic
there
sucks,
are a
dude.
few reasons why. For starters, even with the remake's freer movement and broader control improvements, Mio can still feel too slow once combat
Nah,
gets
I could not play
While
this
that's
game, dude.
all right on its own, although it did make exploring the village feel too slow for my liking, it's an absolute pain in combat. I spent half of my time avoiding enemy attacks.
There
without
is
my
no
camera raised for a
fucking way I'm
counterattack.
playing this. Yeah, no,
Again,
there's
this
no
matters
fucking
very
way I'm
much.
playing this shit.
It doesn't let you reposition
scary.
well enough to get a quick shot with your camera, and often puts you right in the path of a
Yeah,
follow-up
fuck horror,
attack
bro.
when you're
I
facing
can't
an
do it.
enemy that does a few of them in a
Real.
row. As far as moving around the arena is concerned, Mio definitely needed an upgrade, and it's baffling she hasn't received one, while her enemies have been dialed up to 100. Mobility problems aside, Mio's health and willpower drain way too quickly in combat, while healing supplies remain as scarce as they were in the original game. Once again, that's an imbalance that's quite costly, as you're left scrambling to avoid damage as much as you can. It prolongs fights unnecessarily.
To be honest, I feel like this game is more horror than like Resident Evil. I don't know. Resident Evil isn't really scary. Or maybe it's just because I got older or what, but it's not really a scary game. But this game looks fucking scary, dude. I don't like this at all.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. It's probably because Resident Evil like has like action and stuff, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
You
just
know,
taking
you have a
photos,
gun. You have, and like, you know,
Yeah,
once you
exactly.
see like the, you know, the 10th zombie, it's not really
As it stands,
anything scary anymore.
Is too imbalanced to
Hello,
be
Taro.
fun, and I found myself trying to
Recommend it.
avoid fights as much as I
I'm
could.
never gonna play though. It's just not really my jam, you know. In all fairness, it's annoying to browse on Kick anytime I'm barraged by gambling streams. I ain't here for gambling. Yeah, I noticed that.
Instead of taking on spirits for some fun photographic play. It definitely needs some tweaking to level the playing field. I'm all for a challenge, but it's a problem when that challenge stems from a game's mechanics rather than its enemies. You only have to take on an enemy in a closed space to see what I mean. It doesn't help that the controls feel clunky when you're in a fight, which is a very irksome issue when combined with Mio's slow movements. Instead of an experience where you're carefully lining up
Please
shots
play
and
this.
timing
I
them-
can't, dude. No, I can't, dude. I'd fucking. I'm just not into it, and like, you know, it scared the fuck out of me.
Well, to
There's
maximize
no
the
way I
damage
can
you're
do this.
dealing, you're left chipping away at enemy health bars while hoping that you can get out of the way.
Ah, fuck. Okay, where I knew that would
in a
happen.
closed space to see what I mean. It doesn't help that the controls feel clunky when you're in a fight, which is a very irksome
Yeah, there's
issue
no way I could do
combined
this.
with Mio's slow movements. Instead of an experience where you're carefully lining up shots and timing
Or you
them well
fear
to
of
maximize
shadow
the
and
damage
gate.
you're dealing,
You know it. No,
you're
I'm
left
just
chipping away at
I'm.
enemy health bars while hoping that you
It
can
looks
get out of the
scary
way
to
and
me.
teleport
There's
and
no way I
grab
can
you
do
from
it.
another angle.
Plus, like,
really
I
hope
don't
that
know.
the
I'm not
developers
really into the
introduce some
gameplay
fixes on the
either.
combat front ahead of the final
So
release.
it's not
It
really my cup of
desperately
tea.
needs them.
They had
It's a shame that the
4
combat
games.
feels so imbalanced because the rest of the game is
Jesus
genuinely engaging.
fucking Christ.
I found myself going out of my way to find hidden lore drops that further flesh out Minakami Village's dark history, while much-needed upgrade materials for the Camera Obscura remain cleverly tucked away in nooks and crannies that only the most diligent explorers are going to find. The audio design is another highlight, with the
More fun
remake
than you
adding
think.
3D audio support that really helps offset an enemy's aggressive teleporting shenanigans to a large degree when you've got a good pair of headphones on. Your camera's reload gets a distinctive sound effect, and the game does a good job of telling you when you're ready to launch your next attack. The soundtrack and effects are also spot on, working well with the visuals to set a grim tone and moody environment. The game performs reasonably well, although limiting the frame rate to 30 FPS across
Silent
consoles
Hill.
might
I still need to finish Silent Hill 2. I played it like a year ago and then just never went back to it. So
not be a choice that everybody would agree with. I might have forgiven it if the frame rate didn't drop quite often on a base PS5, especially during combat, but it is what it is. A higher frame rate console option would have improved the experience considerably. The side stories are another area that I loved about this one. Introduced so organically, it can get hard not to let the game steer you away from the main story in favor of discovering more about the moody, grim world that the sisters have found themselves in. The story is as good as it's ever been, and if you haven't played the original, I can't recommend it enough. This is a game that isn't afraid to take you to some very dark places, both literally and metaphorically. There's a new ending for you to unlock. However, there are reports that the Haunted House mode or Deep Crimson Butterflies endings are not included in this remake.
Oof.
Despite its many strengths, Crimson Butterfly Remake's tedious
Dread
combat
Out? I
holds it
think
back
I heard
from
of
being a
that.
title that I can recommend easily. While it's going to have its takers, mostly die-hard fans of the franchise eager to dive back into its excellent world and narrative, I wouldn't take this one on until it gets some much-needed adjustments to enemy aggression and your character's movement speed. However, if those issues aren't likely to bother you, this is still a
But yeah,
remake worth
there's no
exploring,
way I could
and
do
one
this.
whose atmosphere
I'd
remains
die. I'd
difficult to
fucking
other
cry,
horror
bro.
games to emulate. It's unique,
Yeah, that would make for
interesting,
good content
and
at
as
least.
Yeah.
absolutely terrifying
Also, did you play
as it was in the
Marathon
past.
Hell
at
no.
all? Did you play the Server
Hey,
Slam or
did you know
no?
that we at Gaming Bolt upload new
Nope.
videos every day?
Oh,
Stick around, drop a
right.
like, subscribe, and
Not
hit that
planning to
bell.
ever.
And let us know what
That
kind of
game is
content
so
you'd like to see
boring.
No, I
featured
played it.
down
Okay,
below.
so I played it. Like I played